Saturday night special from Houston on the campus of Rice University. We're at Tudor Fieldhouse for a key Conference USA basketball contest as the Rice Owls welcome the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky here on ESPN. Greetings and salutations, one and all, alongside the Rice Owls expert, Nate Griffin. I'm Jason Metcalf. Good to have you with us on a Saturday night tonight. Nate, both these teams struggling on Thursday. A loss for WKU at Charlotte. Rice here versus a scrappy UTSA bunch. What needs to go right for these teams tonight to pick up a dub?
Well, I'll tell you what, first of all, Rice wants to win at home. They lost to UTSA. Max Fiedler suffered a little bit of an injury, but looks like he's going to actually be on the court tonight. Remember, when Scott Parra and the Rice Owls went to Western Kentucky, they beat them there, all right? And the head coach was not there. Rick Sansbury was out of the game. So when you consider the fact that he was out of the game, you also have to consider the fact that that's going to be big for them tonight. He will be here tonight.
Let's focus on our players to watch. We'll start with the visiting Hilltoppers from Bowling Green. The tallest guy in Division I basketball today, Jamarian Sharp.
He is tremendous at 7'5". I mean, and he can play. Normally you find guys that are really that tall. They're not as coordinated. But this guy's really coordinated. He's an athlete. He can certainly play.
And for the Rice Owls, we look at the 6'6", 200 sophomore from Georgia, Cameron Sheffield.
Boy, you really need him to come up big. He came up big a couple nights ago, but he really needs to come up big tonight, hit those shots, get to the basket, do all the things that the Rice Owls need him to do.
Max Fiedler is green-lit to play here, and he will jump against Sharp. I'm looking forward to watching the battle of the big men here tonight, Nate.
They're going to need him, and you talk about Jamarian Sharp. That guy is tremendous on the boards. He blocks 106 blocks in the country and leads the nation in blocks. So, yeah, they need Fiedler to play well tonight.
Good crowd on hand for this Saturday night affair. Rice in the whites. Their starting five has been the same starting five the entirety of the season.
Well, that's been the strength of the Rice Owls. They have consistency in that starting five. Scott Parra been looking for guys. Who's going to be my starting five? Now he has them, and the leader is handling the ball right now.
Evie shorted it. The rebound pulled in by Emmanuel Acott.
Now, they've got some size on this Western Kentucky squad. You know, first of all, 7'5" guy. They can get to the basket. They can show you that right now. So they're going to have to play really, really good basketball underneath the basket, all the Rice Owls.
Of course, Rice winning at Western Kentucky back in December. First win for Scott Parra against the Hilltoppers.
Really good to have Fiedler in the game. He is, I believe, probably their best passer. And when you have a guy, 6'10", 6'11", who can pass like he can, and you see that, he does all the dirty work. It's great to see him back on the court tonight.
Fiedler scores the first two of the game. Jamarian Sharp, known for his blocks, 106 this season, by far and away the best in the country.
And McKnight's known for putting the ball up a lot. Against Middle Tennessee, this guy scored 33 points.
McKnight tries the bank from the top of the key, came up empty.
They're going to have to keep their eyes on that guy, play really good defense, see if they can keep him away from the basket.
Mason's wide open for three, and sinks it.
Now that's something the Rice Owls are going to have to do well tonight. They were 10 of 30 against UTSA. You can't have that tonight, especially against a team like Western Kentucky. They are 3-7 on the road. You want to keep them at 3 and whatever on the road if you can.
Thinking about a three was Acott. They'll go down low to the big man instead, and Sharp comes up empty.
Touch. He averages 7.7 points per game. And you expect a guy who is as coordinated as he is to average a little bit more at 7'5". A lot of high percentage shots like dunks, but that's not the case. They're trying to keep him out. Fiedler
going against Sharp. Finds help in Olivari. Shot clock down to 10, and he walked with it.
Oliveri's a guy who really needs to have a good game tonight. He played well Thursday night, but he wasn't the typical Olivari. And you see this guy on the court, and you pair him up with, Evie, they do some damage. And that's really what you want to see tonight.
Quincy had 15 points, 5 boards in that loss to UTSA. 5-0 start for the hometown team from Houston. Acott giving him McKnight a floater on the way. Whistle, but a charge call.
That's what I'm talking about. You either have to draw fouls or you have to get in his way. Don't allow him to get to the basket. And here he is right here. Sheffield doing a nice job of getting in the way and drawing the foul.
That's McKnight's first. This is Scott Para, very passionate coach.
He likes that, very passionate. He likes that. I think he's settled down a little bit now that he's got a consistent starting five, and that's big for them. But good to see Sheffield drawing fouls. Be consistent with what you do and contribute.
Sheffield for three. Too strong. Rebound McKnight. Hilltopper still looking to find the scoreboard here early. Acott going toe-to-toe with Quincy. McKnight down the alley. High off the glass. Could not have the gentle roll.
Yeah, he has not found the rhythm yet. He's a guy also who can draw fouls, so the Owls have to watch him, give him the space he needs to get to the basket. Meanwhile, Oliveri just needs to find his rhythm. Look at that.
Give and go to Quincy. Max Fiedler leads the nation in assists.
That's why you have to have him on the floor, because he's your leading assist guy. He is that guy who can find that open man. Backdoor passes, what you saw just then, that was beautiful.
And most of his assists this year come from that free throw line area between the elbows. McKnight needing some help. They'll go on high. Acott in and out. Cold shooting so far from the visitors from Bowling Green.
Well, I think Rice needs to take, maybe take some notes from that.
Long two on the way from Makai Mason didn't come down.
A couple of nights ago against UTSA, the thing they did not attack the basket like they normally do. Okay, they shot a lot of threes, and you don't want to get into trading threes with Western Kentucky. There you go.
Quincy stuffed underneath by who else but Sharp, but an offensive chance here for Rice. Far corner, Oliveri, yes sir. An excellent start for Rice, and Western Kentucky's Rick Stansberry has seen enough.
That's getting them going early, and that's what you want to see. Quincy Oliveri hitting three-point shots early. Yeah, that's good stuff.
10-0 start for the Houston team here in Houston. Great start for Rice. 10-0 advantage early, but Nate Griffin, this series has not always gone the way of Rice.
No, it hasn't, but I think, when you look at, the season and you look at this season in particular, we know that Western Kentucky 8-3 all-time against Rice, but Scott Para finally got his first win against Western Kentucky there. Again, head coach Rick Stansberry not coaching that particular night, and 5 minutes out of the game, outside of the game, McKnight was out. So that might have had a little bit of an effect, but I think the Rice Owls, because they have such consistency and veterans on this team, they just know how to play and win on the road.
Western Kentucky 0 of 6 from the field early. If you're Rick Stansberry, what were you telling your team in the timeout?
I think, first of all, you have to be a little bit more defensive, but take your time and try to get higher percentage shots to see if we can feed it into the big guy.
McKnight a long two off the front part of the rim.
Higher percentage shots. That's what I'm talking about. Now, he obviously likes to shoot that jumper from 20 feet out, but when you're down 10-0, the one thing you don't want to do is allow Rice to get too far in front of you, and that's good defense that time by Sharp.
That's his 22nd steal of the season.
Well, he's so long at 7'5", block shots, get his hand in there, and that's what they do. Western Kentucky, they draw fouls. You want to be careful about that, allowing them to get some depth into the paint.
Emmanuel Acott draws the foul there. He'll be rewarded with free throws. First foul of the game on Makai Mason.
Yeah, you can see Makai Mason was all out of position on that particular play, and that's where you don't want to be. You don't want to be out of position against a guy like that.
Acott is 36 of 50 from the line this season, makes the first. He suffered a head injury 6 minutes in the game at UAB on January the 11th. Named to the Conference USA preseason all-conference team. Hailing from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Nate, you ever been to Winnipeg?
I'm not.
It's pretty cold this time of year.
Yep, I don't want to go there now. Not a good place for me.
The cold shooting ends for the moment as WKU has their first two on the board, courtesy of those Acott free throws. Alongside Nate Griffin, Jason Metco with you. Silas Banda and our crew here in Houston tonight.
Silas always doing a tremendous job. The crew as well.
Mason, nice pass underneath. And a two finish there for Mr. Fiedler.
Tell you what, that's nice. Very, very nice. Looking for your teammate. Fiedler always in the right position on the floor. He understands floor positioning. That's great, you know, when you're playing for a team like Rice.
McKnight, a blocking foul underneath, called on Mason.
It's 2. He's got to be careful. 2 on Mason. And now you got to sit him because he's got 2.
Alem Husseinovic is now in for Rice. Meanwhile, Western Kentucky brings in Jordan Rolls for the first time this evening.
Tell you what, from a scoring standpoint, 23 can hit those threes for you. You like having him in the game because that baseline three-point shot is his baby.
Allen trying to drive the baseline. Hook shot and scores. First field goal tonight for WKU.
Yeah, a little bit of a mismatch there. Allen is using that body. Big player, that's 6'6", using all of his height.
There's a give and go, and Evie scores his first 2 tonight.
I tell you what, making yourself available for Fiedler is not a bad thing. It's gonna work out to your advantage because he's gonna find you. Those backdoor cuts, they work out every time.
Back to a 10-point lead. Aycock drives. Good second effort in the finish.
That wasn't very hard for Aycock. He's a very athletic guy. Knows how to move under the basket. Has great footwork getting there.
Olivari along 2. Swish. Everything on that right basket looks very easy right now.
Yeah, Quincy Olivari right now, he's coming out hot. 7 points so far for him, and that's what you want to see out of one of your scoring leaders on the squad.
Rice shooting as a team 64% right now. McKnight tries a 3 to answer, and he does.
Yep. Eventually he's going to find his shot.
Just a 31.3% free throw, three-point shooter. They'll take the 3 there.
Sometimes it doesn't matter though. Once you find your rhythm, you can hit any shot on the floor.
How about Quincy? How about Quincy?
I tell you what, it's his night. So far, it's his night. That would be 10 points for Quincy Olivari. And he's having a pretty good night. 4 of 5 from the field.
In just 7 minutes of action. Loud chance of defense. A 3 from Allen. That's no dice. Quincy Olivari, the rebound.
Yeah, trading threes is not going to work out for Western Kentucky. They're down 10, 19-9, and they've got to find a guy who's going to be consistent in scoring for them. Right now, Rice has found theirs.
Oh, he did it again. Big smile on his face. He's loving this.
He's on fire.
13 points.
Yeah, he can't miss. He can do no wrong right now.
Rawls can't answer. Olivari the rebound. 13 points already and 6 rebounds, Nate.
Yeah, he's having a really good game so far. He's doing it all. And the thing, you know, you want to see, you want him to keep going. Oh, well.
Just keep saying that, Nate.
Well.
It's working. It's Quincy Olivari's world.
Well.
We're just living it.
That timeout, not a good time. See, timeouts like this don't help you. You want to keep going. When you're scoring like that, 25-9 already. Quincy Olivari is on fire.
And the Owls are flying high in Houston. A commanding lead for Rice, courtesy of number 4 in white, Nate Griffin.
The guy is 4 of 4 from the three-point line. 16 points already in the game. Rice leading 25-9. So that means his teammates, if my math is correct, his teammates have only scored 9 points.
That's some good math by you.
He scored 16 points already, and we're only 11:40 into this game.
And he only had 15, hard to believe, the other night against UTSA.
Well, I told you,
here.
I mean, it wasn't an Olivari type of a night. And his mom is sitting right behind me. We can't get a shot of her, but I got to tell you, she's smiling.
Jake Liepert is in for Rice. Okay, if you're WKU, you got to find some magic. Where do you find it from?
Well, I think it has to be a total team effort. You have to attack the basket.
How about a 3? That's off the mark from Hamilton. Ball's on the floor. Scott Para picks it up, but it's not going to his team.
Yeah, I think it was kicked out by Rice, but if they're going to have Western Kentucky's going to have a shot at possibly getting in this game and scoring some points quickly, they're going to have to attack the basket and try to get to the free throw line, slow the game down just a little bit.
This is a 9-0 run for Rice over the last minute and a half.
Thanks to Quincy Olivari. But the thing is, Western Kentucky has to slow the game down. And the way you do that, you attack the basket, see if you can draw some fouls. I mean, threes, obviously, they get you in it quickly.
Lander connects. Christian Lander from Evansville, Indiana.
But when you can slow the clock down, which you're going to need that as we get more into this game, you know, the one thing about it is that free throws are free.
Lander had his first start January 14th against FIU. That's the first three tonight, or the second three, I should say, made for Western Kentucky. Olivari drives and a foul in the middle of the key.
Now, I like that because what he's doing, he said, I'm not going to take all threes. I'm not going to try to win it from out here. I'm going to try to penetrate and see if I can get to the basket. And that was a great move by him that time to try and penetrate to the basket. And what did he do? He drew the foul. So that's what you want to do if you're Rice. Draw the foul. Try to penetrate.
First foul on Lander tonight. Each team with 2 fouls so far in the first half, almost halfway through. Fiedler setting up in his particular office.
Yeah, remember Fiedler when he has the ball, if I'm a Rice out, I am all kinds of backdoor cuts.
Husainovich tries a three of his own and comes up empty. Ball tipped off the miss, almost went down.
He'll find his rhythm. Just give him time.
Western Kentucky shooting 4 of 14 from the field, 29%. Here's Marshall, and Tyrone Marshall Jr. comes off the bench and makes an impact. So him and Lander both checking in, and they've already done something good here for the visitors from Bowling Green.
Well, 6'7", 215. You know, he's got some size. He's got some size, yeah.
There.
Yeah, he was definitely looking for the foul. I was waiting for the whistle. I didn't hear it, but I can tell you that.
Lander from the corner, off the rim.
So we talk about, you know, shooting threes, and we'll see what Rice does here in terms of a play. We talk about shooting threes, and right now, Western Kentucky is 2 of 8.
Evie from downtown, off the rim, aggressive rebound, Jamarian Sharp.
Flat foot shot there by Evie that time. Normally he gets a little bit of a rise, but he had a defender in his face.
Acott with the rebound, not Sharp, 13, not 33. Just having a tough time trying to find anything down low right now are the Hilltoppers. Hamilton.
They got the right idea, no, that's a foul. That's going to be a charge.
Oh, they call it the other way. Blocking foul on Rice. It's their 3rd foul of the half.
We'll take a look at this. And there's that elbow right there. So that's why Scott Perry's a little upset as to why that is a blocking foul versus a charge.
Well, after starting red hot, Rice is in a scoring drought now of more than 2.5 minutes. Rolls to inbound. Chance of defense emanating from this crowd. Acott, Marshall, Lander working the perimeter. Coughed up the basketball, saving it though is Rolls. Double team stripped away.
That's some really great defense, but oh boy.
Leipert's wide open and scores an easy 2.
Olivari with the pass. I tell you what, the guy is wide awake tonight. That's the best way I could put it. He is on fire.
Think that UTSA loss set something in this team tonight?
I think so. I think Scott Perry made them look at the film. He said, no way.
Hamilton for 3. Just grazed the front part of the rim. Easy rebound, Quincy Olivari. He's on the precipice of having a double-double in the first half. And scores another 2 right down the alley.
I am telling you, he is doing all the right things. All of the right, attacking the basket, playing really great defense. He's rebounding, he's doing it all. If you look at his stat line, like you say, he's going to probably do something pretty special tonight. 18 points, 7 of 9 from the field, and playing some really good defense. And Rice House playing good defense.
And 7 rebounds for him as well. Pivot move, Hamilton stuffed underneath. Achuche checking in and says, hello, I am here.
They got double teams, triple teams. They got it all working tonight.
Achuche just a little bit awkward on that shot. They can't all be perfect from down low, can they?
I do like what Western Kentucky is doing. I think that they've got something working. Oh, boy.
Evie goes for the pickpocket, lost the basketball, and then apparently picked up a foul in the process.
Pretty good steal. And then the reaction sometimes causes you to do something that you don't necessarily want to do, but there it is.
Rice still with a comfortable lead here as we're approaching the waning minutes of the opening half here from Houston. In a game that both teams badly need in the Conference USA standings, Rice Owls looking good here early, Nate Griffin.
Yeah, need to win though. The loss to UTSA kind of hurt them, set them back a little bit, but not by much because FIU, I believe, lost same night. So probably still sitting in that 5th position with a chance to advance.
Western Kentucky coming off a tough loss in Charlotte the other night. Normally when they go to overtime, they win the games, but not the other night. A steal. Here's Jones. Woo! Beautiful pass to Senovich. Everyone's getting into the action tonight wearing white.
Mason Jones with the steal and the drive to the basket with the dish, and that's how you get it done.
This Western Kentucky team, 14-12 in conference play. They are without one of their leading scorers in Luke Frampton, trying a 3 on the way that missed from Acott. Frampton tore his ACL 2 minutes in the game on January 21st.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. It's that kind of night. Mason Jones scores the 2 with a beautiful pass.
I'm looking at these passes, and these guys, I mean, they are filling the lanes. And when you fill the lanes, you got a big guy who can dish it off. They're finding people, and that is exciting basketball.
McKnight. Allen for a deep 3 off the rim. And the rebound corralled there by Cameron Sheffield.
Western Kentucky isn't going to beat them doing that. I mean, right now, Rice Owls, they got it going. I mean, with the fast break, oh, goodness. The crowd moving there with the fake there.
When you've got the crowd reacting as they did, that's saying something. Husainovich, left side, look out, Sheffield. Not that time.
Yeah, Husainovich had the right idea that time, and tell you what.
That's an offensive foul. Cameron Sheffield being helped to his feet after taking this charge.
Sheffield has taken 2 charges tonight. He's been in the right position. That's called court awareness. And certainly he knew that was going to be a little bit of a problem. Defender can't stop.
First foul on Emmanuel Acott. 4 team fouls for Rice, 3 for Western Kentucky. Under 6 to go until the first half ends. Rice looking for the series clinching win here. They won earlier in the season in December in Bowling Green. It'd be something if they could pull off 2 for 2 against a very tough Hilltoppers team.
You gotta love the fact that Fiedler is never or rarely looking to score.
McKnight with a beautiful fake lays 2 in.
They're playing fast-paced basketball. They're playing very fast-paced basketball right now is Rice. And I think when Jones comes into the game, Mason Jones comes into the game, the pace is just a little different.
Jones has it now, playing pitch and catch there with Fiedler. Far corner 3, Mason. The 3 balls are flying here tonight. 6 of 10 now.
Sometimes you just have to let the action speak.
Tried an alley-oop there for Sharp, and why not? Rewarded with some free throws upcoming.
Yeah, these guys are balling right now. Rice has really found their rhythm, and we consider the fact that they're shooting the ball well. This is what they expected to see a couple of nights ago, but they did not have it. They just could not find the rhythm. But right now, they've got the rhythm going. You've got your starters who are actually sitting, Evie and Oliveri, and they're getting their rest. And there's no drop-off. Oliveri coming back in the game now. Jones out.
Sharp shooting roughly 53% from the line this year. He has 106 blocks coming into this game. I love this stat, Nate. That is more than what 78% of Division I programs are doing as a team this year.
That's amazing.
Goes 1 of 2 from the line. It is still all Rice with under 5 to go to the break. Alongside Nate Griffin, I'm Jason Metco from Tudor Fieldhouse here in Houston on a Saturday night. Fiedler threw it to nobody.
Well, the idea is I know my guys are moving all the time.
They're moving
moving
there,
towards
though.
the basket. But that time, there was nobody there. But that'll be probably one of the only times you'll see something like that happen tonight.
Each team now with 4 turnovers in the game, so very light affair as far as that's concerned. Rawls thought about the three, then drives instead. Too strong off the glass. The putback, though, is good for McKnight.
Yeah, that was off the weak side there. McKnight looking for a basket there, and his timing was very good coming off the weak side.
Davion McKnight is the only player in the country to have 2 games this season of at least 32 points. 3 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. Long shot doesn't go. Rebound WKU, maybe with some momentum here.
That's not Fiedler's shot, but when you're up 36-19, you can afford to take one of those when there's no receiver to receive the ball.
McKnight, far corner, Allen, line drive 3 connects. And
Finally,
Scott Parris calling time.
Yeah, Scott Parris was not happy about that. I'm sure he'll get it taken care of during this timeout.
It is still all Rice, though, a very sizable lead here, right in Houston on a Saturday night. Western Kentucky has found their legs over the last minute. A 6-0 run for them. Rice still with a healthy lead as we approach the end of the first half from Tudor Fieldhouse. Jason Metco alongside Nate Griffin and all of you. Thanks for tuning in wherever you might be tonight.
Well, they're not here. They're missing a great game.
That is true.
Unless, of course, you're in Western Kentucky. Whoa.
Olivari goes up, and there's Mr. Sharp who says, I'll have none of that.
Tell you what, he's very definitive with his blocks, isn't he? Got to have good eye-hand coordination to be able to block the way he does.
Hailing from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, a transfer from Logan College. Olivari down the alley, went way high over Sharp, came up empty. Now a whistle, and we'll go the other way with him.
Yeah, he's disrupting Olivari's shot, disrupted Olivari's shot that time, and certainly when you're 7'5", you're trying to go up over that guy. You may displace the ball on the back of the glass, so that's what happened that time, and could not find the net.
Rice shooting 56% from the field so far. McKnight tried to pump fake. They'll go to Sharp. Now cycle it to the near side. McKnight again. Fadeaway free throw line. Finds the physics roll to go down his way.
That's a prayer because he's shooting over Fiedler. Fiedler was there. And McKnight about 6'1". Fiedler about 6'11".
Under 3 to go in the half. Olivari, fadeaway left elbow. Died off the heel.
Yeah, he tried that step back jumper over the 7'5" Sharp.
Rice's scoring drought now 2.5 minutes. A 3-ball off the mark from Allen.
Western Kentucky has not taken advantage of that, though. You know, if you're going to play basket for basket, especially off of a Rice miss, you've got to find a way to score.
Olivari into Fiedler. Tried to go on the near side. I don't think Liepert realized it was going to come towards him, and now he's arguing and hit somebody in red.
You're on the floor with Fiedler, number 15. You got to be aware that the ball may be coming to you. And I'm sure Scott Parrott talks about this all the time. That's why he's looking at his guys right now and clapping and trying to encourage them. Hey, this guy has the ball. Remember, it could be one of you guys who gets it.
Acott for 3, bang.
Yeah, now Western Kentucky's fighting their way back into this game because Rice has gotten a little cold here.
It's an 11-0 run for Western Kentucky, almost 3 minutes long.
That's what happened. What happens, the game can go into lows, your lows and highs during the course of the game. And what you don't want to do in terms of trying to come back.
Off the hands. A little bit frustration from Allen.
You don't want to fall in love with the 3-ball, but that's an opportunity for Rice. And right now, the formula is for them to try and get to the basket.
102 seconds to go until intermission.
I say that with a 7'5" shot blocker. You know, underneath the basket.
Right.
But somehow, you know, you're just going to have that has to be your game.
Olivari going toe-to-toe with McKnight. Stuffed away by Sharp.
That's what I mean. That's a chance you have to take, though. I mean, sometimes, you know, you get lucky and you get that foul call, but when you have a guy like Sharp who's 7'5", he can play away from the driver. He doesn't have to play near him. And oftentimes you see shorter guys doing that.
Pitch and catch with 3 on the shot clock. And Liepert nails the triple.
That's a much-needed three-point shot by Liepert that time to get Rice back into the thought of scoring the basketball.
That is Jake's 9th 3 of the year. Probably no bigger than that. Rawls tries to answer with a trifecta of his own and cannot. Rebound Cameron Sheffield under minutes ago.
They're going to have to continuously be as aggressive as they can with the basketball. Rice, with only 52 and counting.
Fiedler to Quincy, fouled by Allen.
These are the kinds of opportunities they're going to get.
Here's your fun fact of the night, Nate. Rice has not been to the free throw line yet until right now.
Interesting.
It'll be Quincy Olivari, where he is 101 of 128. That's more than a few attempts.
It's a pretty good percentage, I still think.
78.9.
Slow the clock down. Slow the clock down, and you get a chance to get some points.
Mason Jones back in for Husseinovic.
While the clock's at a standstill. I like Jones' game. Good player.
6'4", 200 freshman from Chicago. Olivari makes them both.
That's what you call free points. Free points are good.
Down to 40 seconds and change the half. Acott thinking 3 off the iron.
They're jacking them up, I'll tell you that.
4 of 16 now from beyond range. About a 5-second differential now, make it 6 between game and shot clock.
Well, here's the thing. This is just the first half, right? It takes 2 halves to win a basketball game. And they will probably go back, make some adjustments.
Jones, Olivari, better shoot it. Tried to sell the foul. That's offensive goaltending. Oh, they'll say the shot clock went off first, though, before Fiedler tipped it. Pretty athletic play, though, by the big man to do this.
It really is. They still call it goaltending, though, so.
6.3 to go. WKU would love to score a 2 or a 3 to get in the locker room with some momentum here.
Yeah, they would. They really would. And the thing you want to do if you're Rice is try to prevent that.
We'll go to McKnight, and he's immediately fouled. Right at the timeline by Jones.
That's one way to stop the momentum, because you have some fouls to give. So if you have fouls to give, the thing you want to make sure you do is take advantage of that. Rice with fouls to give, that's big.
Acott tried to go to McKnight. The ball's on the floor. Clock's ticking. Liepert puts it in. And the horn expires to end a thrilling first half here in Houston.
At the basket and at the clock, at the buzzer, you get it done. Rice closes out the first half with a bucket. You gotta love that.
One half is in the books. Tudor Fieldhouse. Rice is having a commanding lead. Just about ready to start half number 2 here from Tudor Fieldhouse in Houston on a Saturday night. Alongside Nate Griffin, I am Jason Metco. Silas Bandon, his team technically directing. 20 minutes are on the clock, the final 20 of regulation. Maybe more.
These guys are smooth, aren't they? I mean, they're so smooth, you don't even know they're directing.
It is what it is, I guess. WKU in a bit of a hole, and they turn it over right off the bat.
Yep, that's what you want to see early in the game, especially if you're Rice. And they're coming out.
Same 5 on the
playing
floor.
Pretty good defense here. Let's see what happens on the offensive end.
Olivari. Not that time. Rebound to Sharp.
Yeah, but it's online. And, that's the thing.
Alley-oop on the way from McKnight to Sharp.
Oh, that's the thing I kind of was looking for earlier. I really wanted to see more of that in the first half. But now, you talk about those. Remember we talked about the high percentage shots, the dunks, in the pregame, and there they are.
Olivari. Back to Sheffield, NBA range 3. Cold on this left side of the rim early.
Yeah, you don't want to fall in love with the 3 early in the game, especially in the first half. Starting the early minutes.
Allen from 7 feet, a little bit off.
They got the right idea, though. Attack that basket.
Perimeter play, 3. No dice for Evie.
Rice is, was that 3? 0 for 3 to start the second half.
And you don't need the threes when you got this lead.
Well, what you do need, correct. What you do need, you need some baskets, and you need to create some free throws. See if you can get to the free throw line, which means you have to attack the basket. And I say attack the big guy.
Both teams trying 3 balls, nothing going down.
When his feet are moving, you need to attack him. He's not stationary. When he's stationary, that's a problem, like now.
Evie to Mason. Mackay connects from the corner.
Yeah, that's big there, Mackay. Again, though, you got a nice lead against Western Kentucky, and you can see what they're playing and what their game plan is early.
Scott Para, the coach of this team, in his 6th year at Rice. First win ever against WKU was in December. McKnight tries a jumper. Sharp the rebound. Foul and 1 for the big man.
Yep, that's the advantage he brings. He can reach over you at 7'5", and he's, again, very agile. You can see his agility right here. He puts the ball down on the floor. Big guys usually don't do that. 7'5", put the ball down on the floor. They usually find another way to get to the basket.
And Sharp converts on the 3-point play.
Touch 2. I mean, he showed you a couple things. Number one, he could put the ball down on the floor in between 2 defenders, and then he has touch on the free throw and block the shot and rebound and tip the ball to himself. So he showed you quite a bit there.
14-point
nice
lead.
skill set. Nice skill set there.
14-point lead for the hometown team. Try to give and go. Peeler to Olivari, and a bit off the mark.
Got to find something here with a 14-point lead, though. You say that, and they got to find something that's going to work out for him. The big guy Feeler's always on with his passing.
WKU shooting as a team 35% from the field. They average 44.7. Here's Akot to McKnight. Back to Emmanuel. Floater on the way from the left block, extended off the glass and down.
Yeah, they don't want to take that 3 if they can avoid it. And, when you're trying to get back into the game, the better, the higher percentage shot is always the way to get it done. Rice is moving the ball really well. And so now it's position.
Both these teams falling short on Thursday night. Tried another give and go to Olivari, and it went off of him. It will be awarded to the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, Western Kentucky now, they're aware of the backdoor cuts, and they're looking for those passes. So obviously halftime, Coach Stansberry told him, hey, look, this is how they beat us at Western Kentucky. And in the first half. We can't have that in the second half. Guys, you got to be a little more aware.
The defense chants are back from the student body sitting to our right tonight. McKnight and 1. Davion McKnight awarded with a 3-point play of his own.
Sometimes it takes a half to adjust. Nice give and go there. He got fouled too while he was at it. So now this is an opportunity for a 3-point play. Slows the clock down. Now you're at the free throw line. That's a 9-point game.
McKnight has played in all of WKU's 58 contests that he has been a part of. Talk about a model of consistency right there from number 20 in red.
Now if you're Rice.
Allen threw an arm.
That's a good foul. That's a good foul. You get a chance to reset your offense. If you want to call something differently, you can. If you reset your offense, if you're Rice, you're trying to get to the basket. You got to get the big guy in foul trouble.
Evie with just 2 points tonight. Looking for Fiedler. Gives it right back.
Now he's swinging. He's doing a lot of swinging at the basket.
Sharp got a piece of that one.
Yeah, he's effective, though.
WKU looking for a bit of a run. They have never led tonight. Hamilton, awkward jump from the free throw line. That did not go in.
That's a good rebound because they blocked out the big guy at the basket. So Sheffield getting that rebound was huge.
Rice still in control of this one.
You notice that Western Kentucky is doing a better job at the perimeter playing defense. They're also moving guys out.
Olivari with a rainbow shot from the free throw line.
They needed that. That's a good 2 right there. Rice finding a way to, keep the rhythm.
That ended in a 2+ minute drought and put the kibosh on an 8-0 run for WKU. The lead is 11. McKnight down the alley. And an offensive foul.
Pushed off there. Left-handed shot, if I'm correct. I think he pushed off just a little bit.
That's McKnight's second timeout on the floor with Rice still a 2-possession plus lead. A double-digit lead is what I'm trying to say in English. Back after this here on ESPN. It's an 11-point lead for Rice, but it could be closer. Jamarian Sharp, though, just outstanding, coming into this game with 106 blocks. He's got another 5 here tonight. A clear first-place recipient in all of college basketball, Nate, when it comes to rejecting the shot.
Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, usually, as we stated before, it's very difficult for guys like him, 7'4", 7'5", to be as coordinated and agile. And this guy's agile, very coordinated. I think, obviously he'll have a shot to play in the NBA. He's got to get a little stronger. But in today's game, you notice guys they're not big like they were back in the 80s and the 90s. They're not nearly as physical. I mean, you have Anthony Davis, but
the other way, missed from Sheffield.
Thought that was going to fall. You have Anthony Davis, who's a tremendously big guy, and you also have the guy in Philly. But you don't see a lot of really, really big, strong, muscular 4s and 5s. You don't see that this day. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's big, he's very athletic, you can tell that.
Athletic play from Mason finding Fiedler, and who was there defensively? It was Sharp, and now Fiedler is down in the backcourt. They have numbers, Western Kentucky, and they'll throw down an emphatic dunk with Allen.
Yeah, you had a 5-on-4 that time. Fiedler was down.
Max is checking his forehead.
And called timeout. That's what they're looking for. That's what Scott Perry's arguing right now. Injury timeout, didn't give it to him. And Fiedler thought he got hit. And obviously Scott Perry wanted that injury timeout. Didn't get it.
Dante Allen with 2 more for him, gives him 7. And suddenly we see Western Kentucky slowly chipping at this lead here, Nate.
They're chipping away, and 9 points right now. Again, Western Kentucky's doing exactly what we thought they would do, and that's attack the basket, and certainly they're getting that done. You can swat shots like these guys. Yeah, he got hit. So there's no question, if you go back and you look at that, Rice wanted that timeout. He got hit, and that's what the ref is telling him right now. He's telling Scott Perry right now, I don't know if we can put a camera on that conversation, but he's telling him right now that they should have been awarded that timeout.
Max will have to brush that off.
And they got 2 points as a result of that. Western Kentucky actually got 2 points as a result of that, the 5-on-4.
Max has had a bit of a rough physical night. He twisted his ankle, or slightly injured it, I guess we could say, against UTSA. We were wondering if he was going to play tonight. Thankfully, he is out there and remains out there as Rice has the ball, leading only by 9 now. Olivari tries another 3, comes up empty.
Yeah, the pace of the game right now, rhythm of the game, shooting threes, the way Western Kentucky is playing. I'm not a coach, but I can tell you the way they're playing, they are being being very aggressive in their attacking.
Akon wide open, Hamilton.
And as
yes,
I say
sir.
as I say that, they shoot a 3. But
now
that's what we saw.
Now it's a 2-possession lead here.
Well, that's what we saw earlier. We saw them earlier in this half.
Mason thought about pulling the trigger from downtown. Olivari, who's gone cold here with only 2 points in the half. Fiedler tips it up volleyball style.
Plenty of time left on the clock.
Against Sharp, underhand off the glass and down. The battle with the big men goes to number 15 in white that time.
Nice turnaround, pirouette.
You used to make moves like that, right?
Playing football, yeah. Basketball, no. That was nice.
Stolen basketball, good read from Evie.
That's what you got to do too. When you don't have the rhythm you need, you got to get in those passing lanes and see if you can create some, some possessions. And certainly that's what you're doing. You're creating possessions right now. Evie's got to take advantage of this, though. There you go.
Beat is back to 8. Evie tried to thread the needle from Fiedler, but it went off of somebody wearing red.
Would have been a nice spin, reception, spin off the floor. He had enough, he had enough spin on the pass.
Jordan Rawls back in for Jarius Hamilton. Quincy, just a little bit off. WKU looking to make a move.
Yep.
Foul on the floor is getting popped there was McKnight.
And that's what you talk about. Look at Mason. Watch Mason. Mason is not in position. Now, if he gets stationary there?
Doesn't look like it.
No, if he gets stationary.
If he gets stationary.
If he gets stationary, he's got a shot at taking the charge. At minimum, driving that guy McKnight right to a defender for a block instead of a foul.
Well, Husainovich is now back in because Mason has 4 fouls.
See? There you go.
Sheffield trying to sprint. Double team, reach and foul. Acott palms to the sky. But they call this on McKnight, and that's his 3rd, Nate.
Well, that's a good move by Sheffield. Got into a trap, and they got a little aggressive, did Western Kentucky, and drew the foul. Rice, that's a formula for success there.
Each team with 3 infractions in the half. Under 12 to go.
Got to be careful if you're Rice.
Evie for a tray. Hard off the back rim. The rebound to Fiedler.
That sure did help, getting that rebound.
Evie covering a lot of court. Tries a 3 and drained it.
Well, he found it. He found a spot on the court. Sometimes just keep the feet moving, and you have a chance to make something happen good.
Back to an 11-point lead. McKnight trying to answer and does from the right elbow.
Boy, he found his spot. I mean, that's where they love to take the majority of their shots. 15 feet out the elbow. That's where really you like to have a lot of your shots.
Davion leading his team in points and rebounds with 14 and 6. Olivari. Fiedler. Sheffield. Into Fiedler. Sharp the rejection. Another shot for Max, and that one goes down.
And you see Fiedler showing you some skills there. Left hand, right hand. I can shoot over the big guy, doesn't matter. I'm 6'11", I don't care, 5'11". No, 6'11", even though he's 7'5", doesn't matter. I can still get my left hand up and get it over him.
McKnight tries from the left elbow and connects. The elbows are his spot.
He's found something there, and that's what they wanted to do in the first half, couldn't do it, couldn't penetrate, and now they're finding those spots. I like Evie's idea.
Evie with a Max Fiedler-esque pass.
Like his idea, you got to get down somewhere around that paint area and find Fiedler, the bigger guy, to go up against the guy who could be blocking your shot. You don't want that to happen.
Back to an 11-point lead. They'll try an alley-oop for Sharp, and that was tipped away by Fiedler.
Court awareness, he saw it coming.
Olivari, no dice. Out of bounds, and it will go back to Western Kentucky. But first, we have a timeout on the floor. Rice is still leading by 11 points. Western Kentucky has tried to chip at it, but Rice has been able to answer right here on ESPN. Young and old having fun tonight here at Tudor Fieldhouse.
Young fella has found something to do at the game.
Looked like me on the elliptical this morning, hitting those seats left and right, trying to keep his balance.
He's having fun.
Alongside Nate Griffin, I'm Jason Metco. Rice with an 11-point lead, just over 10 minutes to go. Max Fiedler and the Owls came out firing there in the early stages of the first half. WKU has had chances to come back. They pulled it to within 2 possessions, and now Rice has started to establish some dominance again here, Nate.
They better find a fire because WKU's found a solution, and they're trying to make sure they get to as close to the basket as they can, 10 feet, 5 feet, dunks, whatever. They're not shooting a lot of threes.
Baseline 2, that's no good for Rawls. Rebound to Rice.
Rice is scrambling defensively, and that's what they need to be able to do. Scramble out there, guys switching, guys moving around, keeping the feet moving. They are aware of what Western Kentucky wants to do. Now it's just a matter of making sure that they take care of the ball offensively.
Quincy Olivari now with a double-double, 22 points and 10 boards. Travis Evie between the rings. Shot clock's down to 5. Evie could not have the bank go open for him.
Almost.
Oh, pretty play there from Hamilton.
That was nice jump step move right there. And kind of timing for Fiedler was off because of the jump step. No way to block it.
That is the 5th-year senior from Charlotte's first field goal tonight, averaging 10 points a game. 5 of their last 7 from the field have gone in for the Hilltoppers.
Now you would have thought that the way Rice played in the first half.
In and out for
foul.
Sheffield.
That is a foul.
Foul on the floor after the miss.
Yeah, that's definitely a foul.
You were saying?
Hamilton gave Fiedler an elbow to the face. You see it right here. You would have thought that Rice right now would have a much larger lead, but Western Kentucky, they've done a pretty good job here in the second half. They found a solution.
Fiedler double teamed. Vucanovic for 3. Bingo.
And now the Rice Owls are back at it again. Knocking down threes. Vucanovic, if he gets into the party, I'm telling you right now, he's dangerous.
Well, when they've needed an answer to sort of slow down this momentum for WKU, it's been a 3-ball.
It has. And you don't want to try and beat a team with the 3. You want to beat them, you know, really at their game, which is getting to the basket, playing good defense, out-rebounding them, you know, making some steals, getting to the free throw line. That's how you really want to beat them.
Jordan Rawls scored his first 2 of the game. Now we have a whistle and a foul on the floor.
That's part of it. Now you're only up 10. You know, so now you got to be careful. You got to, you know, get those free throws, get those fouls, and just keep it where it is right now.
It's a double-digit lead. Can Rice hold on for the series sweep? Rice's Max Fiedler is the only player in the country averaging at least 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Tonight he has 10 points, 6 assists, and a total of 4 rebounds.
Well,
alongside Nate Griffin, I'm Jason Metco.
Playing his normal steady game.
Tudor Fieldhouse on a Saturday night. Rice looking for a series sweep against Western Kentucky. Evie tried to go on the near side for Leeper, deflected off a WKU Paul.
This is a shot or a chance in the game. Sharp's not in the game. And this is when you really need to try to take advantage of getting to that basket.
Olivari along 2 off the iron. Quincy with 22 points. Most of those came though in the first half.
Biggest guy Western Kentucky has on the floor right now is 6'8".
Rawls, fadeaway jumper with Vucanovic in his face.
15-foot jumper? Wasn't that a 15-foot jumper?
Seems a lot of the guys tonight in red have found that free throw line and elbow area.
Free throw.
Very, very useful. Olivari.
There you go, Quincy. That's it.
Check out this one more time.
Yeah, he's attacking. Players' feet are moving. Defenders are moving. They're out of position.
That's Christian Lander's second. And our officials, at least 2 of them, are talking things over with the scorers real quick, and now all is good. Our officials tonight, Steve Devine, Chris Posse, and Brett Dugas.
Look like a free safety trying to keep up with Travis Kelce. Good luck.
Here's Quincy Olivari with 2 shots. Quincy averaging almost 79% from the line. Two-time Conference USA Player of the Week. Third in the conference in points. Third on the team in rebounds. And third in the conference in total threes. Made them both there. Back to a 10-point lead. I feel like we've said that a lot tonight in the second half.
You got to do, though, man. You got to slow the clock down, get those free throws.
Hamilton from the elbow. Not that time for WKU. Good rebound, Olivari.
Good job. Olivari slips down and still makes a good athletic play. Getting the ball to Evie.
Vucinovic, or rather Liepert. Olivari. Back to Jake.
Don't need a three. There you go. That's the right idea. Just didn't get the call he wanted.
WKU down 10. They've never led tonight. Looked like Evie reached in. Have a few fans screaming, travel, travel, but it's a foul here on Evie.
Well, good luck with that. I mean, you got Hamilton. He is a big guy. 1-2, it's not travel.
That's Travis's third. Makai Mason has 4 fouls. We haven't seen him in a while.
You got a 5'10" Evie trying to hang with a guy 6'8". You got to do something. Hold him, pull his jersey, grab the ball, do something.
Acott against Liepert. Rawls back to Acott. Thought about the three. Rawls tries for a downtown. No. Aggressive rebound. Allen, and he's fouled. Good hustle there from the 6'8", 210 redshirt junior from Fairmont, Kentucky.
Vucinovic just trying to hang in there and see if he can come down with the ball. And it's a good hustle. Sometimes you just have to know where you are on the floor.
Makai Mason's back in here, Nate.
Love his defense.
Cameron Sheffield also returning. Tip did not go down for McKnight. And then stopped courtesy of Sheffield.
Sheffield with a great block that time to keep Western Kentucky from scoring and cutting into that lead. Right now, Rice with a 10-point lead. A little more than 5 minutes to play. Whoa.
How about that from Travis Evie?
Sometimes you just get about the bank's closed, isn't it?
It's still open. It's just Sundays it's closed.
That
Tried
is
an
true.
alley-oop again with Sharp, not that time.
I guess you can do online business, right?
Yeah, you could, but I think it's the next business day where it goes through.
Wow, look at this.
I love watching this matchup. I knew we'd have it most of the night here with those two guys. It's been a lot of fun. Sharp 2 shots now.
Fiedler's held his own. Nice touch off the free throw.
2 more subs here for the Hilltoppers and Rick Stansberry. Rawls and Lander are both back in.
Sharp has 7 points. Fiedler has 10.
Andrew Akuche returns, replacing Fiedler. Give him a break.
Sharp has 3 rebounds, but he has 6 blocks. Fiedler has 1 block.
Rainbow free throw off the rim a few times, goes down. Again, a 10-point advantage. That seems to be the barrier right now for WKU. They can't get past that.
So I want to talk about something. You know, how does leading the nation look
Fouled
at that?
and one there for Quincy Olivari, who's had a quiet second half until right there.
Quincy Olivari doing exactly what we talked about him doing earlier. Getting Sharp in trouble, foul trouble. Used his size that time and his athletic ability, made it work.
That is 6'3" against 7'5".
Hey, it works. Got to get the big guy in foul trouble. Get him off the floor. A little late, but better late than never. How does, leading the nation in block shots translate to the NBA? And I think a lot of NBA scouts will be looking at that. That's a very valuable asset to have. If you're 7'5", you can block shots.
27 points for Olivari. 3 on the way from Acott, did not go down. Ball's on the floor. Save there by Western Kentucky. Lander for three, in and out.
Yeah, it gets to a point where if you're up or down by 13 points, now you need some threes. But Rice has done a nice job just keeping pace with scoring enough.
Mason off the back rim. No field goals here for WKU in more than 3 minutes time, Nate. McKnight couldn't finish.
Just enough body that time defensively. Get out now. One backcourt. Just enough body that time to keep him off balance.
Rice holds on to go to 17 and 10. Mason, a pretty jumper from the left elbow.
That was nice. He got to his spot and dropped it. And you want to see more of that. He should take that shot more often. That's a beautiful shot.
Aycott playing pitch and catch with McKnight. Emmanuel misses the three. The rebound to Mason.
Yeah, threes have not worked out for Western Kentucky tonight. They just have not shot it well at all. 5 for 22.
Rice, conversely, is 10 of 24 from beyond the arc.
And I think they had 3 of those in the beginning of the second half, correct?
Evie feeling a little bit of the heat. They'll go to Mason,
go.
left side. Oh, look out. Evie high off the back rim. If that had gone in, the roof might have come off this place.
Yeah, I agree. It would have got really loud in here.
Aycott looking for Sharp, will take it himself, and a late whistle and contact from Achuche. Scott Para looking towards the sky. Not too pleased with that one. But his team does have the lead here as we wind down regulation play here in Houston on a Saturday night. On the last 5 years, Western Kentucky has won more Division I games than any other team in Conference USA, and they've won more Conference USA games than any other team in the league in the last 5 years. But Rice is on the precipice here, Nate Griffith, of going 2 for 2 in the regular season against WKU.
It'll be the first 2-game win streak against Western Kentucky for Scott Para. And that's saying a lot. This Rice team is really good, and they've done a nice job tonight in terms of shooting from the floor. 45.8% from the field, and from the three-point line, they've shot 40%. So they haven't missed a free throw. They're 5 of 5. So they're playing very well from the scoring aspect of this game.
Aycott made them both, cuts it down to 13. Remember, this is a Rice team that went into Austin and almost upset Texas towards the beginning of the season. They went to UTEP, forced overtime, won that game. Then you converse that with what happened here on Thursday night against UTSA. It seems to be a blip on the radar at this point.
Well, I don't want to get too far get too far ahead of myself.
Sheffield, not that time.
But I think when they get Dawson here next year, they are really going to be good. I mean, right now, this is the best season that Scott Para's had as a head coach here at Rice. And they're doing everything well. That's because he's had to go through so many different lineups to find his consistency and find his starters and who's going to do well with who. And they finally have that now. And it's got to feel good because you can look at the same 5 guys every night and tell them, this is what you need to do to win.
Couple deep breaths from Quincy before the line shot here.
And speaking of deep breaths, Scott Para takes one every time he looks at his starting 5.
Rice is one of 7 schools in the nation to use the same starting lineup all season. Gonzaga, Hawaii, Marquette, Marshall, Princeton, and San Jose State are the others.
One missed free throw all night.
Approaching 2 minutes to go. McKnight shorted it, has his own rebound. That hung on the rim for a second and a half and finally went down, and Rick Stansbury calls time for Western Kentucky with 2:03 to go.
You're down 12. That's 4 threes or 6 consecutive 2-point baskets.
And with 2:03 to go, we'll take a quick timeout. Come back with more for you right after this from Houston on ESPN. Somewhat unfamiliar territory for Western Kentucky, as they are just one of 17 teams in the country, that's about 5% of Division I, to win at least 19 games in each of the last 5 seasons, averaging 21 or more wins per season in the same time frame. They're 14-12 right now. They might be 14-13 here in another 2 minutes.
Got to hurry. There's an 8-second up. They got it. Look at that.
And a quick foul. Excellent ball movement that time.
Yep, got to move the ball. Court awareness.
Call that on Christian Lander. That's his third. Makai Mason will visit the line. First trip for him this evening. 39 of 59, almost 67%. Had 20 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, and 2 steals Thursday night against UTSA. 11 points and now 12 here tonight.
I like the way Evie and Oliveri talk about the game. You know, we don't have a camera on them right now, but these guys are talking to each other. They're in the backcourt, far in the backcourt, and you know they're Western Kentucky's backcourt, and they're looking. This is what we need to do to, you know, wrap this thing up with 1:54 and ticking remaining.
72 are on the board. Rice averages almost 79 a game. Lander go to the near corner, a 3, and that drops down for Allen. And another timeout by WKU.
And every possession for them, you know, is what they want to manufacture points, and that was a big 3.
Mention how pivotal this game is for both teams. Look at the Conference USA standings, and hard to believe that we're almost to the month of March. The Frisco area will host the Conference USA tournament at the Star again. FAU is on the heels of winning the conference, although North Texas is not putting up without a fight. You see Rice and WKU there, each team with 4 games left in conference play, Nate.
Yeah, and it's important for Rice to try and win out if they can. They're upside down in conference, but you know, it's tonight. If things go the way they should go, they'll be at 500. Now, here's the thing: when they went to Florida, they split. They lost to FAU, they beat FIU, came back and lost to UTSA. Man, that hurt. But if you're able to win that game, now Middle Tennessee, you're looking at them in conference. So you're looking at them anyway. And so tonight, 17-10, 8-8. You know, you got a shot. You want to be in that 4th spot, but if you're locked down in the 5th spot, you're still in a pretty good position.
Those top 4 teams, I believe you get a first-round bye as well in the tournament. So if you can pass Middle here, not sure who the Blue Raiders have left, but
that's some work to do.
They do have some work to do indeed. Waning moments of this one. Rice has led the entirety of the way. And another foul as Quincy Olivari is hit by his opposite number, and that is the 4th on Lander.
All about free throws. All about shooting free throws. You know, teams, and I know they work on free throws. I know the Rice Owls work on free throws quite a bit. Western Kentucky, I would assume they do the same thing, just kind of based on what I'm seeing tonight from them at the free throw line. But, you know, free throws, they're free. And at the end of games, you can either win a game with free throws or lose a game not being able to hit your free throws. So it's very important. If you're listening out there, you play, you know, elementary ball, junior high ball, middle school ball, high school ball. You got to, well, a lot of high school teams are playing tonight, but you still have to be able to, you got to hit those free throws.
Wise words from Coach Griffin. Speaking of threes, Lander sticks one. Back to a 10-point lead.
Surprised he hadn't taken a timeout.
Olivari is fouled again.
They're scoring threes and you're scoring 2s.
Yeah, the math does not work in your favor, does it?
Got to work, though. You got to keep hitting those free throws because they're going to foul you every time, and then they're going to take a 3-point shot.
Rick Stansberry trying to plead his case. WKU did have an 11-0 run at one point in this game tonight.
That was early 3rd quarter. early second period.
Olivari makes another free throw. Give him 31 tonight.
Wow, what a night.
Had 20 of those in the first half. Now 32.
So Western Kentucky will try to soak the clock up, take a three.
Under a minute and a half to go. Lander with the easy two. They'll let him take that all day long.
Still a lot of time left in the game,
Yeah,
though.
conceivably you could still do something here.
And now you got a full court press here. So there should be a, there it is.
Trying to go for the steal. Good heads-up play by Lander. Almost had it.
This big play ought to get somebody free. Two different formations, if you notice on the inbound here.
Sheffield turned his head and looked back to see the Giants scoreboard over his head. And now two of our three officials will talk things over, and Rick Stansberry wants to be a part of the conversation, and the student body says no. A very vocal bunch here tonight.
Pretty slick move, no tech. Yeah, he's looking for, look at Scott Perry looking for a tech. What is this? But I tell you what, so you saw a half court inbound setup. Now they're looking to go full, probably going to go a pass here.
Sheffield to inbound. Marshall guarding. Now a timeout. Minute 22 left, hanging on to a 10-point lead.
Smart timeout by Scott Perry.
Schedules, as we mentioned, 4 games left in conference play for both teams. For Rice, 2 of those are on the road, 2 of those are at home, and then to the Star in Frisco.
It's not easy. It does not get. You would love to have 3 of those at home, 1 on the road, right? But you're at 2 of the teams that are very difficult to beat on the road. UAB always gives Rice, I don't know, the heart, what do you call it? Heartache?
Heartburn.
Yeah, heartburn.
Something with the heart that doesn't feel right.
Heartburn on the road. They always do it.
UAB was favored to win the conference this year in the preseason poll. And then look at the one on March 2nd. FAU is here. If I'm a Rice fan, I'm getting to that game because FAU's the real deal this season.
That's a very good point.
And they're going to need a lot of support.
That is a very good point. FAU is a really, really good team. And of course, they have a shot to win conference. So you definitely want to try to get them here and win.
So we got a minute 22 left. Sounding like a broken record, a 10-point lead for Rice. Alongside Nate Griffin, I'm Jason Metco. And we're not going to have anything just yet because we have a whistle and a foul before the inbound.
Get 4 moving, and all of a sudden 4 is shooting free throws.
That is Lander's 5th. Jordan Rawls is back in for him. Lander fouls out with 8 points tonight, averaging 3.2 a game. Quincy Olivari to the line, 10 of 11, 32 points this evening in 36 minutes of work. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Not bad at all.
You mentioned free throws, Nate. In a way, that sort of sealed the deal here. Now 13 of 14.
Yeah, he's having a really good night from the free throw line.
The whole team is.
Pretty important.
WKU's 9 to 10, but for them it's been 3-point shooting. 7 of 24 tonight. Desperation 3, Allen. Sheffield the rebound. We're approaching the final minute.
Seems to me that would have been the guy to foul. You're Western Kentucky, but they decided not to do that.
Looks like the Hilltoppers are backing off a little bit here. How about this, though, for Scott Para? Your first win ever against WKU as head coach of Rice comes in December, and it looks like you're going to have a season sweep. 3 on the way. Sheffield, not enough on it. Shot clock violation. Or is it? We'll have a conference.
Well, the good thing for Rice is that they can't say, you know, if you're Western Kentucky or anybody, you can't say, okay, Rice. And it looks like
shot clock goes off.
As we take a look at this, yeah, it's a.
Oh, that did hit the rim. But it didn't matter because no one was there to go for the rebound.
But wasn't the clock on 0?
Mm-hmm.
So this time they had their head coach. Yeah, let's take a look at this again.
Have a different angle from our crew.
We can't see the clock, but.
Oh, there it is in the back. See it 0.
It hits
front
the
iron
rim.
miss.
Yeah. But was it at 0?
Oh, yeah. It was 0 for a good half second.
There you go. But again, now they have their coach here. Didn't have him in Western Kentucky. He was out.
Scott Para's team last year, Nate, 16-17, 7-11 in Conference USA. So with this win here tonight, they will supersede their total of wins from last year, the number 17, and beat WKU twice. That is saying something.
It's a good year. His best.
It ain't done yet.
Nope.
And it ain't done for WKU either. It's a team that can make some noise at the Star. Speaking of noise, Marshall makes some noise and throws it down. And Fiedler is immediately fouled.
Well, Fiedler can hit free throws.
Max has not been to the line tonight.
Hey, he's a little cold, I would imagine.
From the line this season, 55.6. Coming into this game with a questionable ankle. Saw him in warm-ups, doing all sorts of drills. He's held his own tonight with 10 points.
Western Kentucky looking at Fiedler like, missed this shot. We're going to go down and make a basket.
Double miss for Max. Hilltoppers need a 3, you would think. They'll try it. Acott nailed it.
He got it.
Emmanuel Acott almost hit that from Winnipeg. And Fiedler is fouled again. Why not? Foul him because he missed the last 2.
That's the guy they're going to, when Rice is inbounding the ball, it's going to him, and that's the guy you got to foul. You got to put him at the free throw line. So we can't make this a tighter ball game.
It's the 3rd foul on Acott.
And what was that, about a 3-second possession?
Something like that.
3 to 4 second possession.
WKU is now over the limit. Friendly roll that time.
Better sometimes to be lucky than good.
Had a double miss, and now he made them both.
There you go.
Jake Leipert's back in, and Max Fiedler receives high fives from his entire team.
Yeah, they want Leipert back in the game because guess what? He can hit free throws.
Down to 20 seconds, the shot clock switched off. Acott again with his 2nd consecutive 3.
Making it interesting.
It's a 6-point lead. We haven't said that for a while, and now Sheffield is fouled with 14.6. They're going to make them work for it at the line, Nate.
Tell you what, that's a good strategy.
It's the 4th foul on Acott.
Stansberry.
Cameron
7th
Sheffield.
season.
Cameron Sheffield will shoot the free throws here. Cam hasn't been to the line either. 76.1%. Net barely moved there. Well, something tells me off the inbound we'll see Acott try another 3. Made them both at Sheffield. Our player to watch. McKnight will try a three, and he hits it from the near corner.
Ooh.
And Scott Parra wants to talk about something here that looks like they're going to review this to see if it was a 2 or a 3. Looked like a 3 from our vantage point. Our officials tonight, Steve Devine, Chris Pasci, and Brett Dugas. It's the longest 8.1 seconds of the season for either team here. Let's see. Well, we got 2 fans blocking that angle, but it looked like a 3.
Well, I can't see where it's.
All right, how about this angle?
Nope. That's 2.
Maybe the left foot there.
Yeah, it looks like that left big toe. Sometimes it pays to wear 10 versus an 11.5.
As a 10.5, I can, I guess, sort of relate to that. Didn't think we'd be talking shoe easy for me to say.
Yeah, I tend not to talk about shoe size.
Yeah.
My personal shoe size.
One more look, just to make sure.
Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, that left foot's on the line. Great job by our camera crew.
It is a 3.
It's a 3.
That's
wow.
a 3. Yep.
Okay. I thought that last angle showed the foot was on the line. Inconclusive, our officials say. So there was not enough evidence to overturn the call. WKU hasn't fouled yet. Now they do, and seconds are ticking off there. They lost about 3 or 4 seconds there, Nate.
Well, best you can do is make it a 2-point game. Interesting thing about that is Oliveri played a much better game than for the Rice Owls to win by 2, but then Western Kentucky really made a run towards the end.
Give WKU credit here tonight. They could have easily just taken a breather. Mason looks back awkwardly after that miss. This is the closest it's been since the early stages of the game. 1-2 for Mackay. Rawls receives the inbound. Acott off the iron, and they'll do it. It is a season sweep for the Rice Owls. 83-77. What a big win for Scott Parra's bunch, Nate, and surpassing the number of wins from last season.
Really is, and congratulations to Scott Parra and the Rice Owls. Best season they've had under his tutelage, and that's a great thing to see. Rice Owls now a winning basketball team, doing well.
Nate, this was a lot of fun. Thanks, man.
It's been fun.
Hope we can do it again.
Enjoyed it.
For Nate Griffin, I'm Jason Metco. Tonight's final score, Rice defeats Western Kentucky 83-77. All games streamed live via the ESPN platform or archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.